more than willing to take every single text message that exists out there.
Just the whole Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni situation, like, whenever you think that someone's in the right or someone's in the wrong or whatever, something new comes around and like just completely U-turns the whole situation to the point where it's like really hard to keep up with what's actually going on. So I'm going to do my best to kind of fill you in today. Now, obviously, we had Blake Lively getting pulled through the ringer, right, in the middle of last year when It Ends With Us came out. She kept very quiet on the situation. She then fired a lawsuit back in like the end of November, start of December, to basically, well, she was suing Justin Baldoni for a smear campaign that he set up with receipts, right? He bought receipts. And then, out of absolutely nowhere, Justin Baldoni has decided that he's going to sue the New York Times, I think it is, for basically creating a smear campaign against him. Like, there are so many lawsuits going left, right, and center. Like, everyone's got text receipts. Everyone's got so much stuff. But we're going to just kind of, like, try and get filled in. So, let's take a look at the latest thus far. This comes from E! News and an NBC exclusive.
I am more than willing to take every single text message that exists out there.
Justin Baldoni is preparing for a big legal battle. 3 days after the It Ends With Us star filed a lawsuit against the New York Times for their December 21st report centering on co-star Blake Lively's allegations of sexual harassment and retaliation, his attorney confirms on NBC News that they plan to release text messages and will sue the actress.
Do you plan to sue Blake Lively?
Absolutely.
You will?
Yes.
And what will you allege in that suit?
Well, we're working on it now.
Justin Baldoni has built his brand and is known for supporting women, believing women. So why in this case should people not believe Blake Lively?
I'm not asking anyone to not believe anyone. I am more than willing to take every single text message that exists out there, lay them out, put them on a website for the world to see. Have them see the truth and determine the truth for themselves.
Now, obviously, that's how the whole situation came about in the first place, right? It was like Blake Lively filed the lawsuit, and within the lawsuit, there were loads of text messages. There were even text messages from the company, like the PR management, like, what do they call it? Like, when the PR team comes in to, like, a crisis aversion team come in to, like, help sort out the PR. It was just to pin it all on Blake Lively, to kind of save Justin Baldoni, and it was like this whole thing. That was what was alleged in Blake Lively's lawsuit. But now, obviously, the lawyers of Justin Baldoni are firing back.
December 31st, Justin sued the New York Times for libel in a $250 million lawsuit obtained by E! News, which claims if the outlet, quote, truly reviewed the thousands of private communications it claimed to have obtained, its reporters would have seen incontrovertible evidence that it was Lively, not plaintiffs, who engaged in a calculated smear campaign. It continues, quote, this lawsuit seeks to hold the Times accountable for its role in this defamation campaign, but plaintiffs are not done. There are other bad actors involved, and make no mistake, this will not be the last lawsuit. Justin's legal filing accuses the newspaper of being, quote, false, outrageous, and intentionally salacious when publishing Blake's California civil rights complaint that accused the director of launching a smear campaign against her and creating a hostile work environment while filming the Colleen Hoover adaptation. The newspaper has vehemently denied the allegations brought against them by the Jane the Virgin actor. A statement January 1st from the Times reads, quote, we plan to vigorously defend against the lawsuit. The role of an independent news organization is to follow the facts where they lead. Our story was meticulously and responsibly reported. It was based on a review of thousands of pages of original documents, including the text messages and emails that we quote accurately and at length in the article. According to documents obtained by E! News, Blake filed her own lawsuit on the same day against her former co-star, his company Wayfarer Studios, crisis manager Melissa Nathan, and publicist Jennifer Abel, all of whom are listed in her complaint for mental pain and anguish, severe emotional distress, and lost wages. For more on this story...
I mean, the whole situation was, and what was being labelled in Blake Lively's lawsuit is that Justin Baldoni would, like, walk in on her getting dressed and stuff in her dressing room, even though she explicitly asked him not to. So there had to be... And then in intimate scenes, Justin would kind of go off script and, like, kiss her for longer or like grope her at times, allegedly. And you know, they had to get in like a an intimacy coordinator to like basically have that like brought under control. That was all the kind of stuff that was filed in Blake Lively's lawsuit. But it's like, it's starting to really get quite heated. And here's some more information about the lawsuits that have just been fired.
Intimacy coordinator, and then he dropped the text message of him texting her about the intimacy coordinator and her declining to meet with her ahead of filming. And then there was the side-by-side where they showed that Blake's team was rewriting text messages, changing the context, and manipulating them, so they included the actual screenshots of the messages. So it appears Baldoni is gearing up for a full-on war. And his lawsuit against the New York Times also claims that there are more lawsuits to come and that there are more bad actors that will be called out as well. I wonder if that means Ryan Reynolds may be called out, because he accuses Ryan Reynolds of berating him and secretly writing scenes behind his back. And it's a whole mess, but let me know your thoughts below. Who else do you think is going to get a lawsuit from Baldoni next? Full breakdown now on the podcast.
Like, who else could possibly be roped into this? Obviously, Ryan Reynolds. He was brought in, allegedly, as it's been claimed by the lawsuit against Baldoni, that he was brought in as, like, security almost, like, for those intimate moments, and also for Blake Lively when she was getting dressed, allegedly, having Baldoni just kind of barge into her dressing room. He was kind of there for her to, basically for Baldoni to back off, allegedly. And then there's the whole situation with him allegedly rewriting scenes, which apparently was pre-agreed by, like, even though Baldoni was the director, apparently he was kind of undermined. I don't know. It's so difficult to keep up. But fortunately, The Independent have released an article that is basically a what do we know thus far. So, obviously, we all know Blake Lively filed the legal complaint against the Ends of Thus co-star Justin Baldoni, accusing him of sexual harassment during filming, as well as organising smear campaigns against her in the months that followed. And then Baldoni, so the legal documents seen by The Independent, as well as investigated by the New York Times, accused Baldoni and associates of targeted efforts to destroy the actor and drag her into the media, which Lively says caused her severe emotional distress. Obviously, her name was dragged through the mud, like comprehensively dragged through the mud. Lively filed a legal complaint on Friday, which claimed that a meeting took place in early January to address the hostile work environment that had almost derailed the entire movie. She accused Baldoni, the lead producer, Jamie Heath, and repeated sexual harassment and disturbing behaviour, including unwanted improvised kissing from Baldoni. And there was also, like, apparently they would talk about, like, what pornographic images they were into and stuff like that, like, just without, like, her, and also, like, roping her into those conversations, allegedly. So you can see how it gets very, very, very messy very quickly. It's bonkers. But obviously that's the information that we know thus far. Let me know what you guys think about this whole situation down in the comments below. While you're down there, be sure to jump scare the hell out of that like button. Who do you think is going to get roped into this? Let me know. And until next time, I will speak to you later. Peace.